Dear students, my name is Vikram Nallavade and I am from Mechanical Engineering Department working at Sharat Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Yadrao, Ichalkarji. Today we will discuss about unit number 4, that is joining processes. It is a part of the subject manufacturing processes 1. In this presentation we will cover the introduction of welding process, oxy-fuel gas welding, arc welding processes for consumable and non-consumable electrodes, solid-state welding, brazing and soldering, and mechanical fastening. In entire explanation, we will cover all aspects, applications, and design consideration of each type of welding processes. So, let us start from the introduction. What is welding? In a metal joining process, the two parts that are to be welded or joined, these are fused or melted together by the application of heat and with or without pressure application. Permanent fusion happens between joining metals. Now, let's start with first type of welding, that is oxy-fuel gas welding. Now, what exactly is this type of welding process? In oxy-fuel gas welding, we will discuss oxy acetylene gas welding, in which the source of combustion is oxygen gas, that is to produce flame, that is the source of heat, and it is required to melt metals at the weld joints. Acetylene gas in oxyacetylene gas welding, this is used for structural sheet metal fabrication, automotive bodies, and various other repair works. Generally, while having reaction between acetylene and oxygen gas in entire process, there are two types of combustion takes place. One is primary combustion and second is secondary combustion. In primary combustion, acetylene gas is reacted with oxygen and it decomposes into carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas. And along with that, heat is also produced. This heat is 1/3 of the total heat developed during the welding process. After that, secondary combustion takes place, in which the product of primary combustion like carbon monoxide and hydrogen gases, these are reacted in the presence of oxygen and it gives carbon dioxide, water vapors, and it also develops heat. Now this heat developed is 2/3 of total heat developed during the process, which is sufficient to melt the weld zone. This diagram, which represents the oxy-fuel gas welding, in which base metal which is to be welded is shown above. One tip of the welding torch is represented, through which mixture of acetylene gas and oxygen is passed through the nozzle tip of the welding, which produces flame at very high temperature. And along with that, filler rod is applied additionally. We will discuss about filler rod in next slide. The direction of the travel is represented in this diagram. So, oxyacetylene gas welding is sufficient to produce the heat to melt the weld zone. Now, in this type of in this slide, we will discuss that important terms used in the oxyacetylene gas welding. Above, this picture shows the actual application of use of the oxyacetylene gas on the rail track, and the bottom picture, it is representing the use of acetylene and oxygen gas by using individual cylinders. The pressure is controlled by the pressure regulators used in acetylene and oxygen gas cylinders. These gases are passed through the hoses to the torch, and from the nozzle tip these gases are supplied at very high temperature on the zone of welding equipment where filler rod is used. Now here the important terms filler rod, flux, slag, these are used. Now what is filler material? Filler material, it is the additional metal to weld zone during welding. It is available as filler rods or wires and may be bare or coated with flux. Now what is flux here? Flux is used to retard oxidation of surfaces being welded by generating gases shields around weld zone. Also it dissolve and remove oxides and other substances from weld zone, development of stronger weld. And slag is the compound of oxides, fluxes and electrode coating materials, protects the molten puddle of the metal against oxidation as it cools. Now in the previous slide I will show where the flame is coming out of the tip of the welding torch when filler rod is used as an additional material near the welding zone. What happens when burning or combustion takes place? Huge gases are developed. So in these gases the mixture of fluxes and slag also plays very important role. It protects the weld zone from the environmental factors to avoid the oxidation. The oxidation may be in terms of the brittleness and various defects causing the mechanical properties of the base metal. So the flux and slags are very important to avoid the oxidation of the weld metal. Now in this slide we will discuss the types of flames. Here three types of flames in oxyacetylene gas are shown. First is neutral flame, second is oxidizing flame, third is carburizing or reducing flame. In first neutral type of flame, generally the proportion of acetylene and oxygen in gas mixture is an important factor in oxy-fuel gas welding. So in case of neutral flame, the ratio of both the gases are 1:1, means both are same in quantity. So in neutral flame, inner cone has maximum temperature that is in the range of 3040 degrees Celsius to 3300 degrees Celsius. Outer cone, outer envelope has a temperature, it is very less as compared to inner cone, that is 1260 degrees Celsius, and in between phase is having temperature of 2100 degrees Celsius. Second type of flame is oxidizing flame. As the name is oxidizing, it means the content of oxygen is much more than acetylene gas. Here two phases are represented, inner cone that is in pointed manner and outer envelope that is small and narrow. So in this, amount of oxygen is greater, it can be harmful especially for steels. So the use of oxidizing flame in the case of steels, these are limited because it oxidizes the metal. But oxidizing flame is especially suitable for copper and copper based alloys. It is desirable because it forms a thin protective layer of slag. Now slag, we all know that it's a compound of oxides and it is covered over the molten metal. Third type of flame, that is carburizing, or it is also called reducing flame. It has three phases. First is inner cone that is bright luminous. In intermediate phase, that is acetylene feather, and last phase is blue envelope. Now oxygen is insufficient for full combustion. Generally temperature of reducing flame is lower, and this is suitable for low heat such as brazing, soldering, and flame hardening operations. So these are the three types of oxyacetylene flames used in different applications depending upon the temperatures and various requirements. Now, as initially we have discussed that welding is a process of joining metals by use of fusion with or without pressure. So this is the pressure gas welding, in which two diagrams are represented. First type of diagram in which two different interfaces of metals are heated by flame, which is produced by combustion of acetylene gas and oxygen mixture. And in second type of diagram, the source of flame is withdrawn, which is removed, and the heated interfaces are joined, and these are pressurized to be welded, and the forces which are applied are called upsetting forces. Generally, two components to be welded are heated at their interface by means of torch using oxyacetylene mixture. After the interface begins to melt, the torch is withdrawn and axial force is then applied to press two components together and is maintained until interface solidifies. The formation of flash due to upsetting of joint ends of two components. So we have discussed about oxyacetylene gas welding. In next presentation, we will discuss about arc welding processes for consumables and non-consumable electrodes. Thank you so much.